For question 25, it is a typical question about equation of straight line. So whenever we encounter these, we always identify the lines and classify the important features of the line first, okay? So let's see, L2 should be this, and let me mark down the key important informations first, okay? So firstly, let me mark down the key important information, okay? So firstly, we can draw a table to identify the slope, the x-intercept, and y-intercepts of L1, L2 first. Okay, so what is the slope for? And then rewrite into the format of ax plus by plus c equal to 0, the standard form of equation of straight line. So equals to 0 plus 2y minus s equals to 0. Okay, so slope negative a over b, right? Means the slope of L1 is negative a over b. Slope of L2, negative r over 2. Okay, so x-intercept, negative c over a. So for the x-intercept of L1, negative c over a means q over 5, okay? For L2, negative c over a means s over r, all right? For y-intercept, negative c over b means negative c over b means q over p. For L2, negative c over b means s over 2. All right, and then after we have made this, we can actually compare. Oh, so you can see PR, which ones have PR? So this one we have P and R. Let's compare the slopes between L1 and L2. All right, so the slope of L1, negative 5 PE over R, negative 5 over P. And for slope of L2, negative R over 2. Which one the slope is larger? The slope of L1 is larger than the slope of L2. Okay, so and then let's solve this inequality. Okay, both sides negative, then change sign can eliminate the negative sign first, because negative sign is not something we want. Okay, and then we can actually use the cross multiply method that we can see that PR is smaller than 10. Okay, yes, so 1 is correct. Okay, oh, but wait, how do we know that PR is smaller than 10? Actually, we need to do some clues about whether P, R, S, these values are positive or negative, okay? So we know that negative 5 over P should be positive, because you can see a positive slope, okay? So P should actually be negative, okay? And then negative R over 2 is also should be a positive slope, so R should be a negative value too, okay? And then Q, let's look at x-intercept of L1. Q over 5 x-intercept of L1 is positive. So Q should also be positive. Okay? And then for S over 2, let's see this. The y-intercept of L2 is negative. So S over 2 should be negative. S should be negative. Alright? When P and R is both negative, then let's multiply together, you will see that we should multiply these two first. Yes, 10, and then you change sign, because it should be negative. Okay, this one you match in the left hand. This one you match in the right hand, because negative. So need to change sign. So PR is smaller than 10. So 1 is correct. Okay. And then let's see for 2. For 2, you see 5SQR, right? Where do you have 5SQR? Something like this. Should be somewhere in the x-intercept. Okay. So let's see x-intercept comparison. So the x-intercept of L1 Q over 5 should be smaller than the x-intercept of L2, which is S over R. Okay. And then let's do the let's do the comparison. Okay, and 5s and QR. 5s should be smaller than QR. Why? Okay, so now Q is positive, while we know that S and R is negative. So when we multiply to the other side, you have both are negative. Okay, so it remains the same sign. So 5s is smaller than QR. Okay, so which is not larger than QR. Okay. P plus Q equals to 0. Let's see. Where can we know P and Q and something like 0? We can actually compare the y-intercept of L1, okay? Here, because it showed, and here, it shows some hints about PQ and 0, right? Okay? Q over P should be smaller than -1. You see lower, right? So, basically, Q is larger than -P, okay? Change sign when you multiply a negative value, okay? And then, so P plus Q should be larger than 0, okay, when you change it here. So 3 is correct. So the answer should be 1 and 3 only. This is the answer for question 20.